What the crap? There may be a fourth light character coming to Doors. Alright, so as you probably know, Doors only has 3 light characters, also known as architects, those being Guiding Light, Curious Light, and a third unnamed Red Light. However, in today's daily teaser, we may have just received concrete proof that a fourth pink-colored light exists. And if this is true, it could mean there are several more architects that we have had no idea about. Additionally, today's teaser not only introduces a brand new, rather mysterious item coming to the game, but it also shows us a new structure in the garden subfloor, and it answers unsolved mysteries surrounding previous teasers we received, such as what is the deal with this strange glass key, as well as what this pink symbol on the bulk light icon is. All in all, today's daily teaser was an absolute bombshell of a release, and there is a lot to discuss about it. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so here is the insane new teaser. Right off the bat, there is a lot to unpack here, so let's take this step by step. What we are looking at appears to be a new structure inside of the garden subfloor. More specifically, a small room harboring a new pink petal item. The door to the room contains a padlock, implying that by default the room would be locked, and players would need to unlock it with a key. Additionally, behind this structure appears to be a more open area of the garden subfloor with a strange light. Unfortunately, this part of the teaser is way too blurry to make anything out, so I won't really be discussing it in this video. Now, on the surface, this sneak peek seems to be relatively tame. We gotta look at a new pink petal item? What does that have to do with anything? Well, this teaser actually offers an explanation to a bunch of unexplained questions we had with previous teasers. Let's start with how this solves the mystery of the glass key. Essentially, in one of the teasers we received a while back, a new item was revealed, that being a key themed around a magnifying glass. Although at first I thought this was an item skin, this new teaser actually somewhat disproves that item skins will be added in general, which I will explain later, but this means the glass key is likely a completely new item. Now, if this is the case, the question remains of what it could be used for, and fortunately, this new teaser solves that. If we take a look at the room the pink petal is inside of, we can see it's blocked off by a locked door. This means it's possible the glass key could be used to unlock that door, similar to how a skeleton key is used to unlock skull doors. Now, unlike the skeleton key, which is themed around the actual door it unlocks, the glass key and this new locked door aren't really too related to each other, so it really doesn't make sense for both these items to be related to each other. Still, it's definitely possible for this valid explanation for the glass key to actually be real, which crosses off one mystery off our list. Moving on, the second mystery this new teaser solves has to do with yesterday's teaser. You see, when the sneak peek was released, many players were wondering why the bulk light icon has this strange pink symbol on it. Now, although it is still not confirmed, I believe the pink petal actually solves this curiosity. You see, similar to how the Herbivorous acts as a buff towards players, I believe the pink petal acts as a buff towards items. This is because both the pink petal and the symbol on the bulk light are pink in color, and the symbol itself looks a lot like a leaf or petal if you really pay attention to it. I'm guessing how the item would work is that it could be applied to any item in your inventory, and when done so it would strengthen their abilities or something like that. Now, you may be wondering how I know this, and that is because if this assumption is the case, it would actually solve the third and final mystery, that being the Pink Crucifix. One of the first daily teasers we received was this one, showcasing a flower-themed crucifix crucifying ambush, and most notably, it has a bright pink effect. This pink color not only acts as a connection between the crucifix and this pink petal, but it also explains why the crucifix itself has a flower-themed model, as an item found in the garden subfloor is potentially buffing it. If this is the case, it could mean that unlike we have all been thinking, item skins aren't actually coming to the game, but instead the ability to buff pre-existing items with these new pink petals could be implemented. Now, this does raise the question of how these items would actually be strengthened by the pink petal. It's easy to figure out how they would work on something like the bulk light, as it would increase their durability and brightness, but for something like the crucifix, which already kills entities, I'm unsure how it exactly would be improved. Maybe there would be a stronger entity in the garden subfloor that requires this more powerful flower crucifix to be banished, but who knows? Now, if this flower crucifix isn't an item skin and it is actually a canon upgrade to the normal crucifix, then that would imply a fourth architect exists, that being a pink light. As you probably know, the color of the crucifix indicates which architect is influencing it. For example, the crucifix is typically blue because it is guiding light who is in control. However, it would turn yellow to signify that Curious Light is in control when the item is used on a subfloor entity, which is Curious Light's area of expertise. This would imply that a pink-colored crucifix would be associated with a pink light, which doesn't actually exist in the game currently, meaning it would have to be a new architect or light character added in this update. There's also other evidence besides this to prove that a pink light would be coming. For example, the particle effects seen on the pink petal item, which would be associated with this pink light, seem very similar to the particle effects seen on the starlight items, which are obviously associated with Curious Light. Now, there is a lot more evidence which needs to be gathered in order to definitively prove the existence of a new pink light. However, this is a step towards it actually becoming a reality, which is pretty cool. That isn't all though, as there is one more connection with this new pink petal item that I would like to discuss. Now, as you may know, the Herb of Viridis grants players a regeneration effect, which is notified by a green leaf icon on the bottom of your screen. However, it was leaked a while back that a pink version of this leaf icon also existed as a status effect icon in the game files. Up until this point, we really didn't have any idea as to what this pink herb effect could have been used for. However, now we know it's probably associated with this new pink petal item. Similar to how the pink petal is theorized to buff items, it's also possible it could strengthen players as well, similar to the Herb of Viridis. And to add icing onto the cake, if the pink petal, which is possibly associated with the pink light, could be used as a status effect for the player, it could hint at the Herb of Viridis being linked to a new green light, meaning two light characters may have possibly been revealed with this teaser. This theory is very far-fetched though, but theoretically it is possible. So, to summarize, we got a look at one of the new items coming to the garden subfloor, that being the pink petal. It is theorized that this item could be obtained by using the previously teased glass key to unlock a room containing it. And with the item, players could strengthen their items such as book lights and crucifixes, causing them to have a unique pink petal symbol on their inventory icons. If this is the case, it could mean a pink light or maybe even a green light character exists within the game, which would definitely create a whole new section of the lore, which is quite interesting. Lastly, the pink petal item could possibly even be used on players like the Herb of Viridis, in addition to being used on items, explaining the purpose of the mysterious pink herb icon in the game files. All in all, this teaser is absolutely massive in terms of connections and new lore it presents, and I can't wait to answer all of these new questions when the update releases. So, with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of all of this, as well as the theory of the new pink light. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy.